Hi, I'm Kendall, and I'm here to present a class for you this morning, All That Matters Online. It's a class or a practice that came by special request for some longtime friends who said, hey, you know what, we just did in class, could you do a recording of that? So it's going to be my best attempt, dedicating this to Sherry for asking. And oftentimes when I get ready to start a class, when I get the pleasure of welcoming people in person to come in, I'll ask, is there anything today you're wanting help with or wishing for? How are you feeling? And besides the silent answer that often comes, very often, most often, I'll say, people will either place their hand here or say, yeah, low back. Could I have some help with low back? And then often it's followed by, oh yeah, and neck and shoulders and hips. And so we go oh yay, head, knees, shoulders, and so on, like that game we used to play when we were kids, whole body. So I hope my wish is that you'll have the opportunity to both welcome and pay attention to any particular area, especially low back, maybe hips or neck or shoulders for you, that each posture offers an opportunity for you to feel whole body, to welcome it in, but also to connect and to listen to anything in particular that you might want for your practice today. So I'm going to invite you to go ahead and come onto your back body and draw your knees into chest, the way we often start with. I'll both be coming up to speak and coming down to model. But in general, let's start with a little bit of movement here. Knees up and into chest. They can be on the floor if that's better. No stress for the neck and the lower back. And a little bit of movement as you go ahead and, if you're comfortable enough, let your eyes close. We'll move a little, take a few moments to get centered and do what I call like just becoming present, but a little movement to bring attention, to get comfortable. Hey, back body with a little bit of side to side, turning attention to the sensation. Roll over to the right a little. Hello, right side. Roll over to the left. Sensing, feeling, head, neck, and shoulders. A little movement might help. And if it would be welcome, go ahead and stretch your feet up toward the ceiling. Let your arms come out to the side. Any kind of free movement that might feel kind of like a yawn in a way. Like you're getting ready to be still as if it's going to be for a really long time, and it's not. But you want to get as comfortable as possible. And then either bending your knees, set your feet onto the floor about as wide as your yoga mat so your knees can come together to touch. Or let's say it's about 2 or 3 minutes here. Legs extended, arms extended. A position where you might be able to let go of holding yourself here, to be as relaxed as possible, and to take a few moments to practice what I'll call getting present. This question even came up in class. First, we might hear it as a concept, so be present. And we've learned wonderful things like when we are in this present-centered network, I'll call it, as opposed to the default network here, it brings what's called even a positivity bias to help us shift out of the fight or flight response, to help us shift more into that parasympathetic, the more soothing state. Simply closing the eyes in a place where we feel safe enough to do that can help to shift us into that right away. But I think it's wonderful that yoga practices have offered languaging to help us actually feel the feeling of being present, to feel what it feels like to be centered. It generally feels good, so it's not just an idea. And we'll start with that. So if it's all right, eyes softly closed. If not, just let your gaze be very relaxed as if you're looking toward the heart. And take a nice full breath in for yourself. Again, maybe a yawn. If it's helpful, squeeze your shoulders up toward your ears as you exhale. Release them back and down. Scan your whole body. And if you could even be 1% more comfortable with any intuitive movement or adjustment, what might you do? You could roll to the side as an offering here. Any place for a few moments. And then pause as you imagine stepping out of the doer and to feel the feeling of being here. Even let the mind for a moment pause with the word being or be. It may not be the opposite of doing, but when you set yourself free for a moment to step back, to pause mentally, invite a sense of well-being to come to you. And then to bring attention to your senses, the physical senses of the body as a portal to becoming present, to helping hold your attention. So for a moment, let your eyes open as an experiment and let the gaze just be pretty wide, like not necessarily focused on any one thing, a soft opening of the eyes, or you could even stretch them open really wide and notice how that feels. Let the breath be natural and normal, and then soften the gaze, and if there's something, or you could just pick one spot, even no particular thing, stay with one thing, a soft gaze of your eyes for about a breath or two. Notice everything that's coming, the thoughts, even if it's kind of like, what? Here, shift your gaze to another object and hold it for a few seconds, the soft gaze, the sense of seeing. Choose one more spot, or stay on the same one, but feeling even around your eyes as you look and see, and then close them softly and feel the feeling all around your eyes as I invite you to drop your attention right down and behind your eyes. This turning the gaze inward, as we sometimes call it. Notice that you can even look to the left or look to the right with your eyes closed. You might even like to look up for a moment. It's been a long time focus for yogis to close your eyes and bring your attention right here to the center of the forehead, the center of intuition, creativity. But inhaling now and exhaling as if the gaze just softly drops down toward the heart. I invite you to open to the sense of sound or sounds outside and around you. To begin to feel. First there's that concept, the invitation, sound, the mind thinking, orienting, and as much as possible let go of thinking and let your attention scan outward. Whatever comes. There may be multiple sounds just coming and going, or you can follow one particular sound, maybe from beginning to end. Breath is easy. Thoughts or images still happening, but now begin to turn your attention inward and feel the feeling of your body hearing. Again, the sensation of my body hearing. You know, sound comes in as vibration, noting if there's any particular place you might feel it, or whole body. And then, if you'd like, bring your attention to your ears. Sense the physical ears and that amazing architecture that we hear with. Drawing attention inward, even tracing those inner ear canals that sound enters through. You might even like to take a fuller breath in and bring the sense of sound, a soft sigh, into awareness. Move your body freely if it would help you. And now attention coming to the breath. The feeling of the natural breath in the body breathing you. Attention resting on a sensation of breathing. And note the movement of attention. It's a movement in this wider awareness of you. Even taking a moment to step back and feel the feeling of awareness in which the breath is coming and going. Speaking to the one watching, right? The witness for a moment. Welcome everything that's coming. And now You don't have to lengthen your breath, but I'm going to invite you to count down on the next 7 breaths, counting down on each out breath. So as you bring your attention to it, it might even want to lengthen it. The breath may want to change. Go with what's most easy, pleasurable, but count down on each out breath. If or when you get to 7, you can continue to observe as though you were counting for a few moments, or very often I might lose count. Even with the number 7, mind starts thinking, oh yeah, come back, counting and attention, dropping in, dropping down. The practice of holding our attention on one thing for a duration of time. Yoga. We'll begin to get ready to move together now, maybe moving with the breath if you'd like, kind of like a yawn here, inhaling. Begin to stretch your arms out to the side. And exhaling. Invite a sigh anytime, like a natural spontaneous sigh might like to come, and let your arms be free. Again, sort of like a yawn. Like it might be the only movement you get to do, and you want it to be very fruitful and effective. And in general, a yawn feels pretty nice. The ability to stretch here just to the comfort level, and maybe even feel that release. Let your legs start to rock a little bit from side to side. We'll go through a series of movements for the lower back especially, but I hope they'll begin to touch and feel, give you opportunity to feel through the whole body. So feet about hip width. You can wiggle them in, not as wide as your yoga mat, or just a little bit away from the hips, and arms can be down by your side. And if you'd like, go ahead and press the backs of the hands just gently down. Rock a little bit from left shoulder to right shoulder. And here, we'll move the blanket here from your head and neck. A spinal wave, it's called, pressing down into the ground with the feet. Begin to curl the tailbone up. As you exhale, unwind just a little bit or all the way here. Eyes can stay closed in this, or if you'd like, let them open and let the gaze be toward the heart, but you're really sensing to feel along the backbone of your body and all the muscles. Inhaling up and exhaling, coming down with no need to get all the way down here. Feel your way. Sometimes with eyes closed, it's easier to feel, right? To hold the attention as you bring this wave up the spine. You can inhale up or exhale up. Sometimes they're particular about moving with the breath, when to inhale and exhale here. It's more like a little bit of hello, how are you? And I'd even invite you to let your hips move a little bit from side to side, not just on a linear line, maybe even a kind of circle with the hips, and notice how that feels. Whether you're hovering an inch off the floor or coming up higher, it's kind of like, hey body, today, what feels the best? If it does feel good to go into a fuller extension, enjoy it. Come up and take a breath in this upward position. Exhaling, empty, empty, empty. Feel how that feels along the lower abdomen. And then one more, nice full breath in. If you'd like, go ahead and squeeze the whole back body. And then as you exhale, begin to come down. I'd love for you to take a pause about 1/3 of the way. Hey, upper back. Might even be a spontaneous wanting to come up and down again, and then, hey, come about 1/3, 2/3 of the way, halfway. My toes just automatically come up. You could experiment with that too. Whole body involved. Inhaling and exhaling as if you just lengthened like a couple of inches, and let the lower back begin to kind of drop down. The navel comes in, call it hollow belly pose. Most people like the feeling. You can even place your hands in there and hover, and then release your hips down and take that in. Knees might even want to rock in a spontaneous kind of response to it, or arms coming out to the side, right? That in between a pose and another is really rich with information. And then ready to step into the next sequence. Sometimes this is like rubbing your head and patting your belly. So give yourself all the space to just be going from side to side. Don't get too hung up on it for yourself, if that's possible. Draw your right knee up and into chest. go from one side. This is a little bit of a hip series. And I learned this from a wonderful teacher named Baxter Bell, Yoga for Healthy Aging. So invite a movement, almost like you're drawing a figure 8 with your knee. The foot's relaxed, the other leg just comfortably placed here to feel like this hip allows for circular movement, and maybe even bringing a little more fluid into it. And in this series, we'll take the first couple a little slower to orient you. The first movement's letting the right knee come out, supported by this right hand, to your comfort level. Trying not to let your back arch in a huge way off the floor or the hip to follow. Just nice and easy. The left arm comes out to the left side, and you can bend the elbow and flex the hand. It's going to bring an invitation for a stretch across the chest. And then the head will turn to look at that left hand. The back of the hand presses down, kind of like, hey, wow, my left hand. So you can feel that. Does it feel better to bend the elbow and keep it bent, or extend the arm? A little muscular action in that hand pressing down, and then you turn to look at it. And then we'll bring the knee up. And you might like to take a breath in, take it with a left hand, the opposite hand, and now, as it just rolls over without a hard pull, turn to look at the right hand. So if your right knee is the one bent, you're turning to look at the right hand. A little active press here. You might like the elbow bent to feel how that touches the shoulders, and this turn with the chin in the back of the neck long. So we'll be moving with the breath. Let's try it. Inhale, bring your right hand to your right knee, let it come out to the side, and exhale, turn to look to the left. Breathe in, let this knee come up, take it with your left hand, and exhale, opening, maybe with a sigh as you turn to look at the right hand. So warming up, like nice, easy, kind of loosening movements. Right hand takes the right knee, open to the right, left hand out, and you turn. Breathing in, nice, smooth breath for yourself, and exhaling out, maybe through the nose the whole time, and just the smoothest breath for yourself. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, right knee out to the right side. And then breathe in, bring it up. Give you the opportunity to stay here just a little bit longer, like 2 or 3 breaths. And maybe any little stirs. You can close your eyes here. Again, open that inner gaze and pause and feel all along your back body how this position touches or creates sensation. Maybe knee up a little or down. There's dynamic action in every posture and ways to move within or without. Here, I hope that makes sense. Don't worry if it doesn't. Come around back to center with the knee slightly bent. Now bring your hands to your thigh. It might be nice to bring a little warmth into the thigh. Flex the heel, and here it's not necessarily about straightening the leg at all, but a little bit of action, hugging the thigh with your hands, so you've got some muscular action in the arms, resisting a little with the leg presses into hands, heel flexed. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, press the hands into the thigh into the hands, flex your heel. Inhale, retreat a little, orient to what this is offering, and then again, press. Exhaling. Inhale, soften it like a little retreat. You back up. Feel your way. Exhale. Hope you can feel it right in the belly of these hamstring muscles. A press. If it feels good, straighten your leg, but no pull on the knee, the back, the neck, jaw even relaxed. The other leg could even extend more fully here. And just for fun, go ahead and circle the foot, the ankle around a little bit here before we leave this one. But waking up, I hope you can really feel some nice muscular action. It's a whole fascial stretch for leg and hips. And then reach out. You could just let your leg go ahead and fall all the way down, or take a little rock from side to side as you land. Maybe even sensing, feeling difference in the hips. And I hope the left leg is saying, yay, can I have my turn now? Draw your left knee up and in. Take a few free movements. I don't think I mentioned it on the other side. You could also have this leg be slightly bent and that foot up. What is the nicest for your lower back? As you draw a circle or a figure 8 here, in preparation for this left and right kind of movement, let's go ahead and inhale. Left knee out to the left side. Right arm comes out. Turn to look at it. Breathe in. Knee comes up and across, exhaling over to the other side. Turn the gaze, inhaling up. Left hand to left knee, exhaling or inhaling, just breathing nice and a smooth way for yourself. So sometimes it's an inhale coming up, And then on that exhale, you're looking for that sense of like release of tension or finding a place where the body says, ooh, thank you so much for seeing me. Just nice, easy movements. Do one just with the breath. And then stay on the side here. Left knee going across the body. The gaze toward the left hand. A little press of the back of the hand down, or maybe even a softening of it, a stir. And then go ahead and roll back onto the back. Take hold of the back of your thigh. If you'd like, get a little warmth in the muscles. Feeling into those hamstrings. Interlace your fingers or take hold here. Resist a little with the arms. Resist a little with the leg pressing into hands, and on an out breath, press into the heel. Flex. Inhale, soften. Exhaling, press. Closing your eyes or attention to whole global body. Right? Might really be feeling it in the legs, but check in. Lower back. Hey, how's it feel? The right leg here, extended or pressing the foot into the floor for support. Which one feels better? It's a really practice of trusting the body's information to tell you how far to go, how long to stay. Reach up through this foot and let the foot come all the way down now. And one more time, just relax, release your arms, release or wiggle your legs, and take in that whole global body feeling. A little hip series, even though it touches so much more than the hips, doesn't it? Bend your knees, slide on over to the side. I'm going to invite you to come up to all fours. Be facing in this direction. I just brought one blanket because you don't really need any props today, but any question of cushioning for your knees or your wrists or your palms, do it. Go for it. Add a little cushioning. I'm going to start with it, and then I'll go from here. So all fours pose. Taking care that when you place your arms, you're giving yourself at least shoulder width, if not a little wider. And same thing for the knees here and the hips, at least hip width, if not a little wider. Begin to shift back, hips toward the heels. Toes can be curled under or the opposite direction. And inhale, come into gentle, leaning into your hands. Bend your elbows. Feel the whole hand working for you. Keep breathing just freely as you go forward and back a couple more times. This is a posture where you could also let your eyes be closed and feel your way into the inhaling, coming forward. If you'd like, you can let your hips come further. And exhaling, lifting from the pit of the belly, the lower belly, as you draw the hips back and bow your head. So set yourself free for a few more rounds of this. We call this in class sometimes the Ganesh Mudra. Ganesh is that big elephant. It represents the remover of obstacles. So the opportunity to feel, hey, back body as you stretch, just like you had knees into chest now, but a different position. And the front body, curling the tailbone up, lifting through the chest, sometimes called cat-cow movements as well. And then the invitation to begin to go a little more circular with your hips, just like you did lying down with your knees, but imagine you're doing a figure 8-like movement here. It can be small or it can be really large. If you'd like, close your eyes, bow your head, breathe and feel as you shift over to the right and then around, exhaling. Maybe linking the breath, inhale for half of the circle. A little pause at the top, exhale, the other. In reverse direction, and then bend the elbows, bow your head, forget about what it looks like, but feel your way. Flexion and extension. Some sweet offerings here. And we'll do a little strengthening work, so come back toward the pose of a child. If it's helpful, make 2 fists or maybe hips further up. You can rest in the forearms here and breathe. Big breath in and out. Strengthening, whole body really. Strengthening in the bones,
So come back up to all fours one more time. And this time extend your right leg back. I'm going to wiggle up so I'm on the mat and let your toes touch as you begin to press into the heel here with the toes on the floor. Go a little left with the heel and the ankle and a little right, opening up. Soles of the feet feeling, I hope, all the way up into the hips level. This press that could potentially even help the back of your neck if it's tense by stretching open soles of the feet and your toes. And then, more fun coming. Inhale, invite this heel to come up and extend, lift through the chest, look up. And then exhaling, let the knee come gently in, bow your head, so a little rounding, just like that cat-cow. Breathing in, extend, hips level, chest lifts, gaze goes up. And then exhaling, bowing the head, chin in. One more time, inhale, extend, and invite you to stay extended for a couple of breaths. You can bend the knee, flex the heel. Just some more fun in the offering. If you'd like to challenge the balancing and strengthening a little, let your opposite left hand come out. Fingers can touch, and you can have that sense of groundedness as you breathe here, and the back toe can touch too. It's a pretty cool diagonal stretch on its own. Or if you'd like, let the hand come up and the leg come up. Here, eyes on one spot, a steady attention. Breathe. Can I breathe comfortably? Feel on the exhale, lifting lower abdominal muscles up and in for support. And I like to play around, so you might even like to challenge your balance a little bit, just for fun, but also to wake up all of those deeper fascial muscles, core fascia is not muscles, but just to touch everything and maybe have that sense of play. Hey, ready to come down? Knee down, hand down. Pause. Come onto the forearms one more time. Close your eyes and feel the sense of your body right here. Right? Present. Presence comes with a feeling. Then when you're ready, step back in. Come on up to all fours again. Here comes the left leg and left side. Extend your left foot. Toes touch. Give a little bit of a press in to the heel. Could be really, really tight in the toes and super sensitive sometimes. In your mind's eye, can you feel big second, third, fourth, and little toe? I work on that all the time. It's pretty hard for me to feel the middle toes, but staying with it. Opening up sole of the foot and the whole back body, and then inhale. Extend that leg up. Look up. Wow. Exhale. Bow the head. Scoop lower belly muscles in. Knee comes in, breathing in and out. Maybe simply breathing freely or exhaling as you gather up and in. Linking attention with the breath to help hold it, but also for the response in the nervous system here. Extend the legs, stay extended this time. Let your toe come down anytime you'd like. The opposite arm comes out, so if left leg, right hand, fingers touch. It might help to give you a sense of ground. And you wait for the breath to go. And extend, lengthening from the waistline down and out through the back body to support this coming forward, like this lifting, even maybe a lightening up. And then wobble on purpose if you'd like, or not. It's a wonderful thing to feel that sense of stability and groundedness. But this to wake up some deeper core muscles, to feel the connection, all the messages coming throughout the body. And then hand down, knee down when you feel satisfied. One more time, coming onto the forearms this time. And if you'd like to try this, turn the palms up. Give a press of the backs of the forearms down. You can also do this in prayer pose. And this active stretch, you're pressing down into the floor and a little resistance with the elbows toward the knees as you take a breath in and then exhale. Hips toward the heels, bow your head. And I hope you can feel that. And the whole back body here. Inhale, come up. We'll do it in another way too to play around. And then exhale. Can you feel that in your upper back? Come on up. We'll do one more before we come up to standing further up. So I learned this recently with a different way, right, to do the same pose. Many of us have done many cat, cow, and child or puppy stretches. This time, and it could be the way you do it all the time too, hands press down into the floor. Again, it's like down into the floor, and then as if they're going to move down. Pressing down, and a little resistance toward the knees. Hope that makes sense. Let the breath be free. Inhale, and then activate the hands as you press down and toward the knees as you stretch hips toward the heels and bow your head. And notice what happens. How do you feel there? Where do you feel sensation? Roll forward and up. The breath is easy. And then exhale again. Press down, activate. You're activating the whole front side of the body with some resistance to help touch within the back. If you do this 2 more times, would there be any wanting for you? I'd love for you to try to go a little side to side. So hands come over to one side, press down into the floor, resist a little toward your knees, bow your head, and hey, wow, side body. Come on up, other side. Here, if it feels possible and welcome. The breath in is pretty easy. A nice long out breath with that press and the resistance. And then come back around to center. You can rest in all fours or come on up to kneeling for a moment. And take a moment. We'll be coming up to standing from here. Very often in class, I'll invite a downward facing dog for the transition to standing, or simply come on up to standing. We'll meet in standing. So, demonstrating downward facing dog, coming to all fours, toes curl under, and a big breath in as you lift your knees up off the floor, and beginning to draw the hips up and away from the wrists. I like to start with bent knees here, so I invite you to do that, really lifting up and out of the wrists, and then like, woo, wow, hey, legs. The heels come up and the heels come down. Turn the head a little to free the head and the neck. And a little walking of the dog, bending one knee and then the other knee. Big whole global back body stretch. And then step your hands toward your feet or your feet toward your hands. One hand to one thigh, the other one there. Press your feet down, hips come forward, and come on up. I'll be turning in this direction. You can face the same direction you were going into, but bring your feet a little wider than your hips. And we'll start with some circular fluid movements, a real regular for one of my weekly classes here. So imagine now, a lot of attention on the feet, that you're doing a figure 8-like movement. And so attention, you can look toward your toes or just nice and easy. Resting here onto the thighs, or feel free to come on up. But coming around into the toes, back, like a circular movement, figure 8 underneath the soles of the feet. I have to think about it a little bit, so holding attention here. And then inhale and exhale. The knees don't allow for circular movement, so bring attention up to the hips. Let the hips draw the figure 8. If it feels great, inhale, half the circle. And exhale, the other half. You can start wide or small, pretty free in this one. I always say when I'm in class, forget about what it looks like. Focus on the feeling. Like WD-40 here for the hips, for the joints, and around. Looking especially for where the body's like, yeah, thanks. That feels good. Let's bring the shoulders up, our arm bones up and back and down away from the ears. Inhale up, exhale back and down the other side. They can come both at the same time or focus on one, even reversing that direction as now the arms get in on it too. And the wrists, right? After that weight bearing, do some, like you're doing a figure 8 with your fingers. Some figure 8-like movements feel good here. And the kind of ooh-ee, ooh-ah feelings, breaths. Lengthen the breath in a little bit and out as now the arms come a little further up. And let's inhale, let the arms come up to shoulder level or overhead, and then exhale, let them begin to lower down. Sometimes we call these opening sun breaths, like you greet the day and inhale, wow, hey, and exhale, arms come down, nice and easy. Trying it another way, as you breathe in, let the arms come back, the heart comes forward, And then exhaling, a little scoop of tailbone down, lower belly muscles in. And any way it feels good. Up, back, down and around. And a little bit of a sigh. So, the next one, bring your right arm forward and around. Let's make a big, wide circle, exhaling as the arm comes down. Whole body follows. Kind of like you're leading from your little finger, breathing in. And you can almost feel the connection all the way down to your little toes. Or can you? Inquire. A couple more. Inhale. Hello, side body. And exhale. Simple movements. Whole global body. One more. Inhale. Up. And exhale. Back around. Bring your hands around to your lower back. And pause here. Soften the knees. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Or look gently down. And feel your body in this moment of sensation or whatever's really here right now. Multi-dimensional being here, coming to one point, present, here in body. And then go ahead and open your eyes and step right up to the top of your mat, bringing your feet about hip width. Just one more time, do this little bit of grounding, coming back into the heels. Toes start to come up, coming forward into the toes where the heels might be able to come up. Back one more time. How to feel, center. Never forget somebody asking me that. Like, you say that a lot in yoga, get centered. What do you really mean? And right here, you might feel it. So you're back so much that your toes come up and you're not so stable. You come forward so much that the toes are really digging in. And then there's that place in the middle. Look for that feeling. Hands onto the thighs, knees are bent. Inhale. And as you exhale, let your right shoulder, I'm doing the left right here, and knee, like whole body come forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, go to the other side. Sure hope that feels good to do again. As you say, like, hello, back body, hips, legs, maybe even the side body and shoulders. A little kind of ringing out, and then come back to center. Press the hips forward, rise up, open the arms out to the side, and as your arms come down, shift your weight over to the left foot, invite the right heel to come up. And here, because we'll be doing a few more of those, pick a spot for your eyes to stay softly on as you shift to the right leg and invite the left heel to come up. So it might get wobbly, awesome, practicing, balancing, practicing steadiness and wobbling. It's sort of like you're walking in slow motion as you try that one more time. So the arms are here to help, like you might be walking. If your foot says, okay, I can come up, go for it. Shift over to your right foot one more time and invite the left heel, maybe the whole foot to come up, lift up through the chest, and then exhale, let that foot land. And now stepping firmly into the whole left foot, the heel can come up or you can bring the whole foot in, take a big breath in, and step this foot behind you. The leg comes back. Lean back into it. If you'd like, let this foot come up and land in it one more time. So left foot's coming forward, right foot comes up. Whoa. Balancing, practice. Patterning. So step fully into the left foot now. The knee is going to come right over the ankle in the first lunge. And it's probably helpful, like my leg wants to wiggle back a little bit more for a lunge. Here, feet about hip width, so you're not on a tightrope. If it's helpful, wiggle your left foot over a little bit. And then bend the back knee. If your heel needs to come down, like let it. And give a nice firm press through that back leg, feeling the muscles activate. Your options here, to stay with the bent knee, more of a balancing practice, or to allow that heel to come down. And if you choose that, and love stability, it's so important in yoga and helpful, let your hips follow the movement of your feet. So in other words, you're not pulling your hips forward in this one. You're allowing them to follow, especially if your heel is down. Hands to the lower back one more time. Oh yeah, high lower back. And the opportunity to lift up, to feel left side, right side, through the armpits, shoulders drop down, lean back a little, chin in. Legs underneath you. Let's just say the knees are talking to you. Not quite sure I'm ready to stay here this long, so feel free to come up, stay up, and come down, or to move in between. A couple more breaths. Let the arms open a little bit wider here. Like elbows bent below the shoulders. Little action in the hands, the fingers come together. Roll your upper arm bones up, back, and down as you kind of lean back into that staff of the spine, chin in, reaching up to the top of the head. Variation of the warrior here. Or if you'd like, let the arms come into more of a full, like exalted, out to the side, like a big Y here. And that feeling here as you lean back a little bit into the back. Lift through the chest and the heart. Chin is in, gaze can go forward if you'd like looking up toward the sky. A form of exalted, like wow, can you feel it? Wow, here I am. From your feet up through the legs. 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. You can also come out with any of those 2 breaths, but when you're ready, lower your arms gently. If it's helpful, bring them to that front leg, look toward your toes, and step, maybe even hover, or boom, land here. And pause in the in-between for a moment here. It's a practice of being in between, especially in a posture class, so that you can have it in your daily life when you need it. All right, other side. Here's coming, starting with the bend in the knee. Stepping into the right foot as you bring the left heel up, and then step it back about 2.5, 3 feet. Come forward and back, if helpful, like you're walking and you're stepping right into that front standing leg. Knee bends over the ankle or heel. Ground. If it's available, bring that back heel up. Bend the knee, releasing the lower back, lower belly muscles lifted and press through that back heel. It can go up or down, you choose. Stability is really important, so give yourself that here. Straightening the front leg as well anytime you'd like, as we do the same kind of things we did on the other side. You might even like to stay here the whole time, the hands on the lower back. How you doing, lower back? Really want to take care of you. Tailbone down a little, lower belly muscles right here under the navel lifted. And then freedom to breathe as you open the arms out to the side. Maybe even draw the elbows back a little. Inhale. And then like you're gathering in the front, just like that cat-cow. Exhale. Repeat that. Or let the arms go further out, wide, like we did on the other side. That wow, wide open. This particular position for the arms is said to help decrease the cortisol levels, to take us out of fight or flight. That like wow feeling, like we see like Olympic athletes when they finish, and they're like, wow. Try it. Don't believe me. And see how it feels. Give it one more big full breath in, like hey, whole body. And then exhale. Enjoy the release, lowering your arms, big or little steps back together. One more time, bring one hand to the heart, and if you like both, close your eyes or look down. Feel that sense of, wow, strengthening the muscles of the back body, so they're there to support you as you pause in between. And exhale. So one more standing posture coming. I invite you to come into a wide stance, a comfortable wide stance. For a side opening, a little bit wider than your hips at least, I think is easier. Let's get grounded here. Starting with a little bit of a bent knee and inhale. Press down with the feet, lift through the heart, let your arms extend out and up. And then exhale like you're gathering in toward the very core, the powerhouse here. Inhaling, feel. You don't have to straighten your legs or your arms, but feel your way into it. In general, it feels kind of good to go in and out. This stretch, squeeze, and release. One more. If you like here too, let your arms go back. Let the heart come forward, look up. And then exhale, like gathering in. Either bring your hands together for a moment, bent knee if you'd like, to take a little moment here to pause. Like, ooh, leg strengthener. Can you feel that? Here, releasing the hips down. And then when it feels like, yeah, I'd like to straighten my legs. Now straighten your legs. Yahoo! Turn your right foot out a 90 degree. Turning to look at that. Pivot on the back heel. Heel comes up and down. The toes come forward. Not on a tightrope either. The right foot can go over to the side a little bit. And then let your arms come out as you start to lean into this left side. So I'm not mirroring in the filming of this. So I'm leaning into my left side too, just in case that's helpful. Turn to look at your left foot. Bring the chin in, release the back of the neck. You can even bring your hand around to support it here. In general standing poses, eyes are open on purpose to help balance. Right? You can always test that. Close your eyes when you're standing. It gets a lot harder. So here, allow your right knee to begin to bend a little. I'd love for you to feel this, like, wow, I really have a nice support over here in my body to lean into. And all the space that's coming on the other side of the body you want to sustain as you begin to straighten your leg. This is a version of triangle, and I'd love for you to try it with me, to bring your hand above your knee, like a higher triangle than we often see or do. And then the hand can rest into the bones a little bit as it sets you up. Extended limb pose, spine always long, spine first and foremost to take care of, and then the legs. And the arms are kind of like putting the icing on the cake in a sense, if you will. If you'd like, follow me with a nice full breath in, just a nice slow sweep. As you extend your left arm, even feel the little finger and press down into the left foot and the little toe. Note how that feels. It actually takes some attention to do that, but it might help to stay in the body. The hand can come to rest on the side body, the back, or if you'd like, the last couple breaths here, bring it out. Sometimes I like this little bend elbow to get those shoulder blades to move a little and free them, and then maybe the turn to look up at your hand. Big, wide, extended, giant triangle pose. Pause mentally. Eyes are open, looking up. Any strain in your neck. Look down at your toes. Bring the chin in and feel that. Here, very often helpful if it feels like the head starts to be, and the neck is strained. And then let's come up. Inhale. Hope that feels really, really good. Come up, toes forward, hands to your lower back, a little bend in the knees. A pause and out breath. And then the other side. Turn your left foot out a 90-degree. Pivot on the back heel. Same alignment, taking care as you open up the arms a little and lean into the right side. Here. I know in my own experience in studying yoga, I was so focused on being more flexible all the time that I missed so much of the beauty of building the stamina, the strength, the stability here. I like to feel it here, something to lean into. And then the left knee can bend as we orient the legs and the hips into this position. If you like, let this left arm come up, all this length and space. As you start to hinge at the hip, you can keep a slight bend in your knee and hand just above the knee if you like. Go further if you like, but love for you to free the mental concept that it's about touching your toes. Because it's not. It might feel good to touch the toes, but it's not just that. And then the sweep, slow sweep. Can you feel a connection all along the right side of your body? Open to the question. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, feel it, or hardly, very subtle. But attention from the little finger to the little toe, potential connection. Let the arm rest on the side body or move up and around, maybe out in front, fingers together, palms pretty much parallel here to open through the shoulder to give you this big, like exalted stretch, comes all the way down across the chest and collarbones. Looking down if you'd like, chin in. Like in the modern world, and we tend to have so much tension here in the upper back and neck, wouldn't it be just nice to try something a little easier? Looking down. One more big breath in. Accentuate, move freely anywhere or everywhere that the body might want. You're listening for that little signal, or maybe it's a big one. Coming up, toes come around to center, hands to your lower back. Bend your knees, take a breath in, and begin to let your hips draw back. Let your hands come to rest on the thighs, like we did a little while ago with your feet together. And then breathe in, come up, exhale, bend one knee, little side lunge. Inhale, rolling up, and exhale over to the other side. If you like, let your shoulder and head come forward. This will be one of the last wide standing or standing poses before we come onto the back body. I'd love to offer one more variation. Love this one, resting in the bones, head above the heart, about halfway. Or come around, bring your arms around behind you, brought them onto lower back several times, but yoga mudra. And if the hands don't touch, just be okay with them right here. It's the same kind of movement across the chest and collarbones, but that's where I want to have a little extra attention. You can interlace the fingers behind your back, palm open, for fun. Always like, hey, switch thumbs and feel like, what? Is that someone else's hand? So interesting. Or bend your elbows and bring the base of the wrist toward each other. And for me, that really wakes up some feeling across the chest and the collarbone in a good place to counteract this. You can even counteract that and then open it up. Let the hands gently drop down. Let the head turn a little from side to side. Chin is in, back of the neck, long, easy, like a dedicated, upper back, upper chest. Inhale, and then exhale. The heart leads here, this area of the body. Chin is in, head's trying to not be the leader here. A third of the way. You can gaze down toward the floor if it helps balance. Maybe halfway, hips are back, sustaining space in the front of the body, especially with the arms behind you, makes it easier. Feel free now to either just completely fold forward. I always love a little side to side sort of fluid movement, or you might like an extended yoga mudra. It's called the bliss pose. Hands go up, head bows down. Nice long out breath. With the image that the posture is trying to help you literally erase the tension, to feel it, to give those places this really lovely squeeze and release. And the mind, soft forehead, just easy, easy here. You can also let your hands come down, dangle freely, or have more of an engaged, wide standing forward fold. Yours to finish with any way that you might like. And then pressing hips forward, come on up. Open the arms, heel toe, your feet back together. Step right up to the top of your mat if you'd like. Draw the hands in that prayer pose or to the heart. One more time like the last time. Pause, close your eyes and feel. Sensation in the forehead, cheeks and jaw. Shoulders, upper chest, middle abdomen, torso. And hopefully the joy, like, wow, finish standing poses, let's come down to the floor. Any way you'd like. Let it be as simple, as easy as possible. I invite you to come into sitting, extend your legs out in front. Here you might like to sit on a cushion and actually coming onto your back body very soon, very quickly. But sometimes helpful in the transition of coming down, head above the heart. A little rock for your legs from side to side, maybe even a lean back into the arms and space across the front body. And high toes and high feet and legs. Thanks for all that work and the support. I hope it's really helpful. Okay, scoot your hips forward, come onto your back, and one more time, draw your knees up and into chest. Hope is, the wish is that it's like, oh yeah, yay, here I am, gravity. Take me in here. As you move a little from side to side, and this time, let the knees come out a little bit wider. Again, a little circular movement. My humble opinion that the joints, especially the older we get, really like that circular fluid movement. Your toes and feet can get into it. Building this posture called happy baby. Let your body rock over to the right, over to the left, and come back around to center. Let your hands come in to open up the knees a little bit wider. Notice how that feels in the lower back especially. This might be enough right here as you draw the legs down with a little wider position. If you'd like, try heels coming further up. The image like a baby. Maybe you've done it 100,000 times here. That's like, whoa, wow, my feet. And they're like, whoa, I can touch my feet. Hey, wow, this amazing body. I can do all these amazing things. Inhale, and as you exhale, a drawing down of the thighs, and especially to feel down toward the base of the spine. You can move or wiggle. I like the name Happy Baby because it seems to me it's just a little freer, not so technical. Opening up the legs, feeling relationship to back, the weight of the legs, and how it feels there. And maybe even straightening one leg out. You did this a moment or so ago, standing, one leg at a time. Maybe this wide, it's called Upavista, wide angle. Hey, wow. Oh, how's that feel? And then begin to draw your legs back in. Take your time. Especially if that just feels so good. Take your time. And finish in a similar way that we started with these movements of the spine here. Feet come down, knees bent. Maybe a little movement from side to side. And let's come back to that bridge variation here. Feet press down, and the tailbone begins to curl up. And there's no one place to get, but you feel your way. A little sway to the left or sway to the right, snuggling shoulder blades onto the back so the upper back can help you. The neck has this little curve, head pretty relaxed here. And like your arms, what to do. Maybe right here, even scooping under the body for support, if you'd like that. The supported bridge, it's awesome. Big strengthener for the back body. Isn't it the other day? Like, yeah, if you're not sure, lift one heel up and feel how that changes, especially from the other leg or the foot. Try that if you'd like on both. Like, hey, wow, it's almost easier in a way to bring the whole foot up. But just one little lift or adjustment changes the body response globally. So one or two more breaths. If you'd like, bring your arms up, pressing into the upper back. If your upper back, it's really tight like mine does. I just love to feel this press with the arms up. It could be like this. And you might even make up or know something different that you want to do. Do here what's going to be the most beneficial and pleasurable for you. Really, it's a big experiment in moving and breathing consciously, kindly, mercifully, even as you lower your spine down. Last couple movements here. Slide your right knee up and into chest one more time. The left knee can be bent here. Opening up the knee. And then opening up this leg. The knee can stay bent. It's not necessarily about straightening the leg. It's about feeling the relationship of leg to hip here. And then bring your left knee up and take hold of your left knee. And let this leg just be pretty relaxed, and it's going to follow whatever the right leg does with whatever might just spontaneously happen. So let your right leg come out to the right side, like this external rotation. Exhale, press the heel up and the weight of the leg down. Bring it up. 2 more times. This is like a fan here, fanning that SI joint. Don't have to go out far. Inhale. Exhale, maybe even drawing lower abdominals in. Feel anything good there? Do it one more time. If you like, with the legs staying out for an extra breath or so, enjoy that. Pretty juicy stretch potentially. And this leg, this is also for your SI joint, just holding on to the knee in a relaxed way, like they're connected to each other. Inhale, let this leg come up. Begin to straighten that left leg. And either with a straight leg or a bent knee, like we started, begin to let this leg roll across. It's helpful back up. Now knowing we want to go, scoot your hips over a little to the right and let your leg come across. Close your eyes and feel your way, especially again around lower back. Bent knee or straight leg. Bring your hand right underneath it. This right arm can go out or up or maybe even help by touching the floor to ground you as you pause mentally. And breathe smoothly. And feel light gravity to help you. And then inhale, just sweep right on up. Reach up, reach out, and exhale. Let that leg come all the way down. One more, last side coming. Bring this knee up and in. Extend the leg up. You can have this knee bent. To start with, a little flex like, hey, how's it feel now? Bring the right knee up, take it with your hand. Inhale, open out to the side. Exhale. Inhaling slowly, like with great awareness, just going out, exhaling. It's almost like you're zipping up, scooping up lower belly muscles here. Last time. It's almost more of an unwinding now, an undoing. As we do these last couple of movements, bringing the leg up. As you place your right foot on the floor, scoot your hips over just a little. for your back to have lots of space, and either with bent knee, just like we did in the beginning, or leg extended, unwinding. It's a rotation, twist along the spine, so taking care, being long and extended. And then let gravity welcome in everything you can give it. Didn't mention it often. We do these with a strap in this whole hip series, but knowing now that in studios or whatever we can't share all the props and modify, there's always room to adjust for your body here as you take your last breath in and out here in that position. And then come around to center any way you'd like. I generally feel crooked when I come back around to center, so a little scoop, a wiggle, of coming back to where it feels straight, right? Feels, being centered has a feeling to it. And your legs now, as you pause for a couple of breaths, maybe in this constructive rest pose, I really like for the lower back, or Savasana. I hope it's calling, whispering your name. Are there any other movements to help you feel ready? Would you like support? A blanket, socks, pillows, cushions underneath your neck, underneath your knees, like speaking to lower back. Many of us are helped in the lower back with just that little bit of support, like a little blanket or even a big one. Could be under your neck. Again, the posture to get really comfortable with and enjoy. Not always the easiest one, but. And just as that offering too, you can do this on the side, you could do it on the front body. Where are you most comfortable here? Ideally, you let go of holding the body in any particular position, muscularly, mentally, like in every possible way. Take a few breaths, perhaps willful, to feel and sweep my whole body here. After all your movements, after all your efforts, now the release of effort. Gravity is a friend. And the movement of energy. Sometimes just beginning here to drop into rest, there's still some energy that's moving around. It's why we take time, right? To let things settle. So feel it. Alive. Dynamic movement within the cells of your body. If it's helpful, even inviting mentally, efforting to let go. It can be its own mantra in Savasana. If there's any question for you, what to do, let the answer be, let go. And rest in the sense of touch, the ground. It's rising up to welcome you in. Touch of air, space, maybe at the nose, the cheeks, your eyes, the jaw softening, like the whole head and neck, even the scalp, even your ears, to soften. Like a little smile just kind of spontaneously comes up, like, oh. Into the neck, the chest, the shoulders, your arms, your hands. Thanks for all you do. Into the torso, the body beginning to breathe you now in the felt sense of this little pulse of breath and life. hips and legs. The intuitive readjusting, releasing. To the whole global body of you, this radiant body being breathed. And the last little bit of time here, attention freed. You become the one watching the thoughts or images or the movement of breath or body, stepping aside. This wide open spaciousness of you. As you prepare now, you might even want to just stay right here. Let the video end and rest in this spacious feeling, especially if it's really calling for more. Honor that. Rest is essential. With that gentle noting, the dynamic movement of life, right? And the thoughts that come and go. I felt sensation, maybe even returning to the sense of sound. So let your attention rest on. Take refuge in. And occasionally throughout, like we do in practice, or throughout your life, if you'd like, you can start to draw your knees up and in. Spontaneous movement here, especially now, to be in, but to occasionally give yourself that moment to trust that even in moments and little bits, that pause to step back, to rest in well-being, or that in between a breath, a thought, that your nervous system might appreciate it, and that it can help to strengthen your capacity to draw on this positivity network, it's called, when you most need it. So if you're ready, one more press, hug, squeeze. Get a little momentum, roll on over with no rush to the side. Let that upper arm help you. And to come on back up. Pause here for a moment, a sense of being grounded here, eyes closed, sitting up nice and tall, but it's easy for yourself, whether you take one breath before you get ready to go out for your day, and honor your efforts, honor your time, honor this multi-dimension uniqueness of you. If you'd like to finish with me, open up the palms of your hands one more time, this open, wide, receptive. Hey, the feeling of being open and receptive, ready for what comes your way now. After you get up from your yoga practice, take a breath in. If it's helpful, especially if you feel kind of like, I need a little help waking up, stretch your arms out, that big, wow. Let your hands come together, maybe resting at the forehead, chin comes in a little, a posture of reverence, or in toward the heart, the touch. Every radiant cell of you, with the wish that your practices be so fruitful
so effective for you, even beyond your biggest wish or prayer. And may you know that feeling of really ease, wellness, peace, and joy, the ultimate body of yoga. So thanks so much. I totally bow.